Happy Saturday night, everybody. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now, a little at-home edition for you guys. My name is Harrison Graham. Got the preseason opener tomorrow as the Bears take on the Dolphins. We're going to talk about that game a little bit coming up here in just a second. Also, the Bears have worked out 4 running backs, which certainly has caught my attention for a number of different reasons. We're going to get into that as well. But listen, preseason opener tomorrow. Bears football is back. If you have not done so, this is the time to subscribe to the channel. I saw we're like 50 subs away from 126,500. Can we get there? Can we make it happen? 127,000 subs by the end of tomorrow. Who knows? Join the family. It's free. Daily content. You guys know the drill. Hit that subscribe button. Okay. The Bears have worked out 4 running backs. This morning, it was revealed that Jamaal Williams, who we've talked about a few times on this show, given his connection with Ben Johnson, he worked out, but also Brittain Brown, Tyrion Davis-Price, and Aaron Shampklin also worked out for the Bears. So before we kind of get into each of these individual players, my brain started churning, and it makes me wonder, is something more going on with Roschon Johnson? Because Roschon Johnson was the featured back in Tuesday's super physical practice, the most physical practice in decades, Bears reporters have called it. And what do we know about Roschon Johnson? He's had multiple concussions since entering the NFL. One his rookie year, at least one last year. Okay. He's a physical type back. That's noteworthy. Well, he came out of that practice, talked to the media, was fine, it appeared. And then Thursday did not practice for what was called a foot injury. And on Friday for the joint practice, did not practice either, wasn't off to the side either. Now, neither was Karan Amagaji. Sometimes players are in the training room, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying he has a concussion. What I am saying is whatever he's dealing with, I think it's a little more than, he's going to be back in a few days if they just worked out 4 running backs. That's my guess. Now, maybe he's fine, and this is just hey, let's just do our due diligence on some guys we're interested in. Well, Tyrion Davis-Price has mostly done nothing in his career, and Brittain Brown and Aaron Shampklin have really done nothing in his career. Jamaal Williams is a notable one, but when I think of Jamaal Williams, I'm like, kind of feels like that would be a Roschon Johnson role. So I'm just very curious about if there's more going on here. I wonder if Ben Johnson after the game tomorrow gets asked about this. I know there will be questions about the game, so on and so forth, but I do wonder if something more is going on with Roschon Johnson, as he is not expected to play in the game tomorrow. Now, let's talk about these players specifically. Let's talk about the one everyone knows first, Jamaal Williams. Jamaal Williams has been in the NFL since 2017. 8 years, played his first 4 years with the Packers, 2 years in Detroit, 2 years with the Saints. Well, the 2 years with Detroit, that second year in particular, was with Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator, and it was the best year of his career. He had 262 carries, 1,066 yards, and 17 rushing touchdowns. 17 rushing touchdowns. Now, only 4.1 average. He's not going to wow anybody in space necessarily, but he carved out a role, kind of the David Montgomery role now in Detroit. Now, Montgomery's a better back than Jamaal, but he was kind of that role, that physical presence before they brought Monty on board. So, familiarity with Ben Johnson, physical downhill runner, your physical back is currently injured. It's just interesting. It certainly has caught my attention. Now, here's the thing with Jamaal Williams. If you told me you were getting somewhere close to that level player, not even production, because I don't think they're going to bring in a running back to rush for 1,000 yards unless they trade for one. But let's say he was 85% of that player. But okay, I'm interested, especially if Roschon's injury is serious. The problem is Jamaal Williams' play the last 2 years in New Orleans does not suggest you'd be getting that player. In 2023, in 13 games, he had 306 yards on 106 carries. That's less than 3 yards per carry, only 1 touchdown. Last year in 14 games, 48 carries, 164 yards, 3.4 average. He has not looked the same. Now, obviously, running in Detroit and Ben Johnson's offense compared to what New Orleans has had the last couple of years. Could he be a tick more efficient? Yeah, but A, I don't think you're giving this guy 200 plus carries if you bring him in, and B, I do think he's mostly near the end of his career. Now, could you convince me of if Roschon does have a serious injury, could Jamaal Williams play just a purely third, fourth and short goal line thumper role where he may not even have 50 carries the whole season, but he's just that third guy that has a specific niche role? Because in 2022, sure, from a touchdown standpoint, a lot of that was they put him in on the goal line, but he had 262 carries. I don't think he's touching half of that. I don't think if he signs with the team, he's hitting 131 carries. I think you'd be looking at, 3 to 6 carries per game in a very specific role. If you brought in a guy like that, okay, you could talk me into it. Now, again, I would only be on board with that if A, the workout looked good, which I have no idea, and B, Roschon's injury was serious, because I'd rather just roll with Roschon if all things are equal, because he's been in camp, you know what you have in front of you, that type of thing. I'm not even a huge Roschon guy. I think it's a big year for him to see what he can do, but I don't think, like, if they really wanted Jamaal Williams, wouldn't they have just signed him like a few weeks ago? If he was that wanted across the league, wouldn't he be on a roster? So that's kind of my thought on that part of it. So, I don't know what Jamaal Williams is in 2025, but I do think he would play a Roschon Johnson type of role. Now, the second most notable name on this list is Tyrion Davis-Price. He was a third-round pick for the 49ers in 2022 out of Southern University. Or no, that's where he played his high school ball, Southern University Lab. He played his college ball at LSU, and he's had a lot of injuries and just not very good play. His rookie year, 99 yards on 34 carries. That's 2.9 average. And then in the last 2 years combined, he has 9 total carries for 30 yards. Never scored a touchdown. But like Jamaal Williams, pretty physical back. 6'1", 219 is what he's listed as. So again, you kind of start to just breadcrumb this thing together, and you're like, okay, that's 2 physical running backs that they've worked out. Let's see about the third. Brittain Brown, 6'1", 205. Not quite as thick, but a physical runner. He was a 7th-round pick for the Raiders in 2022. Never really stuck. Has only played in 6 games. Has only played on special teams. Played at Duke and UCLA. So you've got that. And then the last one here, Aaron Shampklin, 5'10", 195. So he's a little bit smaller. 6 carries, 17 yards in his career. A UDFA out of Harvard a couple of years ago. So I'm just curious. I don't view any of these guys as players that would change the direction of your team. I more view it as, if they sign one, is that your new short yardage back until Roschon's back? That's what I do wonder. Is this just a due diligence workout day? It is the day before a preseason game. I know it's the preseason, but that caught my attention as well. It's like you're working out 4 running backs the day before a preseason game. Now, even if someone killed it, I don't think they would sign him before this game, because you couldn't get him ready to play tomorrow. That's just unrealistic. So if they are going to sign one of these guys, it would likely happen Monday after the game. Then you just cut somebody that plays in this preseason game. But I'm keeping an eye on this, especially when it comes to Roschon Johnson, because I do wonder if something more is going on with him. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the game tomorrow, and then we will sign off and see you guys tomorrow for Bears versus Dolphins, our first watch party. Colin and I will probably go live 10:45, 11 before the noon game, somewhere in there. So, again, turn on those notifications after you subscribe. Caleb and most of the starters will not play. Debate that in the comments how you will. Ben Johnson gave his reasons why. I see both sides of it. I'm not going to discuss it too much further when it comes to this game. Tyson Bagent will start, likely play the whole first half, according to Ben. Great opportunity for him. I would say if he goes out there, has a really good performance, he's probably locked in the QB2 job. Him and Case Keenum have been going back and forth with the 2s and the 3s. Bagent was listed as the backup on the initial depth chart. I think if he goes out there and plays well, he can kind of lock that thing down. What else am I looking for? Well, both Braxton Jones and Ozzie Trapillo are going to play. So out of those two, who looks more comfortable? How long do they play? How much weight do these reps carry for Ben, Dan Rochar, and this Bears staff in terms of who they would pick to be the starting left tackle? That is to be determined. I would imagine on the defensive side, do we see both Nashawn Wright and Tyreek Stevenson? Could they play at the same time? And you just kind of see who plays better. Maybe you play them each the first quarter. Play because with Jalen Johnson out, you can start them both on the outside. That could be an idea. I wouldn't hate that if that's how they want to approach that. As those two guys are competing for a starting CB job. Terrell Smith in the mix as well, so we'll see how much he rotates in. Obviously, with Kyler Gordon out, you'll probably see Josh Blackwell a decent amount, especially early on in this game. So you are going to see with the left tackle competition guys and the CB2 competition guys, at least I would imagine with the corners. I don't think Ben commented on them specifically, but I would imagine Nashawn Wright and Tyreek Stevenson get some run because that competition is ongoing. And then after that, just like the rookies, I assume Colston Loveland's going to play at least a little bit. Luther Burden, I would imagine, plays a decent amount. Kyle Monunga is probably going to get the start at running back. I don't think DeAndre Swift is playing, so I'm curious to see how he runs the football. Exciting to see what he can do. So, is it a bit of a bummer that we're not going to see Caleb and some of the other starters, of course, but I think there's a lot of, contributors and potential contributors that are going to play. Then obviously guys who are pushing for a roster spot, surprise camp guys like the J.P. Richardsons of the world. What does Tyler Scott have any fight left in him? What does Dominic Robinson look like? Austin Booker, there's a lot of guys that have an opportunity to put some good film on tape. So excited to see it go down. Should be a lot of fun. Doesn't sound like the Dolphins are going to play their starters either, but Quinn Ewers, Zach Wilson on the other side. That'll be interesting. So I'm fired up, and so is producer Cullen. We will be live on the channel hour 15 before kickoff, and then we will have live play-by-play game reaction throughout the game, and then, of course, our post-game reaction as well. So don't forget to subscribe and join us. Bears, Dolphins, preseason opener tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Bear down.